Hey there, Mallory Wilsey here, Chief Producer of the Enrollify Network, and I want to take just a moment to tell you about another show on our podcast network that I think you'll love. The EduData podcast is your no-fluff guide to the data driving higher education. Forget about data silos and disconnected stacks. Timothy Davis and Jamie Boggs, two of Element 451's data analysis experts, bring you straight into the heart of the numbers that matter. With sharp commentary and rigorous research, our hosts break down complex data points and actionable insights you can use. Whether you're an administrator, educator, or just a higher ed enthusiast, EduData is your key to unlocking the data behind academia. New episodes drop every Friday morning, and you can subscribe to the show by visiting podcast.enrollify.org or just search the EduData podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Mastering the Next, a cutting-edge podcast that explores the future of graduate, online, and non-traditional education through the lens of AI and technology. I'm your host, Dr. Ray Lutsky, Vice President of Strategic Partnerships at Element 451. Join me for discussions with some of the thought leaders shaping the future of graduate enrollment management through technology. Mastering the Next is a part of the Enrollify Network, a robust collection of podcasts designed to help higher education professionals like you grow. Explore our other shows at enrollify.org or check out some of my personal favorites linked in the show notes below. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the next generation AI student engagement platform that helps institutions create meaningful and personalized interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com. Today, I'm honored to have Dr. Jerome Drain, President of the Online College at Houston Community College, join us. HCC Online offers more than 70 hybrid degrees and certificate programs, as well as general education, elective, and core courses in more than 80 areas of study. Dr. Drain will share his insights on how new technologies are revolutionizing student engagement and transforming the online learning experience for his students. Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Drain.
Thank you very much, Ray. Excited to be here.
I want to start by asking what's next for Houston Community College Online in integrating new technologies into its curriculum, and what impact have you observed on student engagement and learning outcomes?
Online instruction is not going anyplace. It will only become more and more part of our day-to-day operations as a higher education institution, as well as our potential students and our current students. So they like the online environment. Where I see Houston Community College Online going really is creating what's known as the Metaverse. And in this space, it will allow for students to interface and interact with one another in a metaverse. So they will have an avatar that they will create, and that avatar will be able to interface with real life people that will be avatars as well, but have a direct conversation with our students. So really excited about that opportunity of creating this metaverse where students are able to engage with one another in this really game-like environment. And then in addition to that, when I think about the new technologies as it pertains to our curriculum, that's really important too. So we are looking to infuse such technologies as the metaverse and for students to be able to engage in the classroom virtually the same way that they would in a on-campus type course. And the way that we're choosing to do that, our faculty are working very hard in creating twin type spaces. So let me just give you a real quick example of such a space. When you think about an art gallery, we have many art galleries on our various on-campus locations at the college. Now you can create this space virtually, and it would be a virtual twin of the art gallery. So the same student works, that our students produce within the laboratories, within their classrooms, they will be able to use or make a virtual twin of that. So now a virtual student can tour the same type of virtual lab or virtual studio. So we're really excited about those opportunities. So that's what's really challenging, but exciting about the work that's on the horizon. So we're really excited about just the virtual, creating that virtual space and allowing for students to truly engage and immerse themselves in that space.
That's incredibly innovative and probably something new for folks who are listening to this interview. So could you share, maybe just to kind of double click on that, some examples or use cases where you see these technologies enhancing student interaction and participation in the kind of student environment or in their online course? What are some of the examples you might use to say this is how it's going to work?
Sure. Biology faculty are creating various activities for the hardcore sciences, whereby they are able to create this immersive environment of, say, a cell. Okay, so I'm a scientist too, by training, so I really do like this example. But when we talk about cells, can you imagine being able to create a cell in a virtual environment with the various organelles and be able to really transport the student inside of the cell? So when we start to talk about the Golgi apparatus or the nuclei or mitochondria, all of those types of things, they have a really immersive in a different way to understand the cell. So we're excited about just the potential that we have with the new technologies. And really, it's our faculty that are dreaming of new ways to engage students in real meaningful ways. So we're really excited about those opportunities. And then, of course, another example that I did mention briefly before with the virtual modeling of students' work. So as a student, you're able to walk into the actual gallery, walk up to a piece of work. That piece of work is a PDF where you can look at it and look at the details in the actual laboratory. So we're really excited about just being able to create that type of space where, once again, it's immersive, right? We want the students to feel as though they are really on a campus. And the engagement that we seek to provide is both in the classroom as well as outside of the classroom. And we know both of those are very essential to student success.
It's really exciting. And I can imagine I would have been such a better biology student if I had the opportunity to walk around inside a cell and look at mitochondria and actually be able to see what they're doing and understand that better. And that's just incredible. And I can imagine with that kind of innovation, the college has had to work through some challenges. So what challenges have you faced in implementing or moving forward with these technologies for your online students? How have you worked to address those challenges to ensure that it's doing what you want it to do to drive effective student engagement?
So there are challenges. So what I've just described, really, that's the gold standard for us to be able to do that type of work. Some of the challenges, of course, is bringing our faculty up to speed with the new technologies, for them to understand the best ways to use the virtual reality, augmented reality that's creating these spaces. So there is that part of the equation that's really, really important for us to address. And the way that we've chosen to address that at our institution, we have innovation fellows. So these are faculty or staff who apply to be an innovation fellow. And in their innovation fellow, they really are charged with and challenged with thinking about ways to improve what it is that you do. So if it's a faculty member, how can you make the classroom? If it's a staff member, how can you make processes or streamline processes? How can you do that better? So we're very fortunate to have the innovation fellows, and many of our innovation fellows gravitate towards the AR and the VR. So they have the opportunity for 2 semesters to create in that space. So that's how we're trying to overcome the challenges of understanding the technology. The technology is changing every single day. But within that year, they investigate what's out there. They become the experts. And then we, as an institution, we're looking at those faculty sharing what they learn with other faculty. So we want them to get excited about technology as well, and thinking about how can they utilize this in their classroom. So that's where we're thinking about the challenge around implementing the new technologies. We have those early adopters. We have those individuals that are excited about those opportunities. And we expect that excitement to catch on like wildfire and be passed along to other faculty members. So that's how we're thinking about it. In terms of students, this will be new for students as well. So when I talk about the metaverse and creating this avatar at the community college, our average age is around 26. So I know that not all of our students will like the metaverse and this virtual type of environment. So the way that we seek to engage them as well, you don't have to create an avatar. One will be given to you. So there are ways in which we are thinking about the entire population of our students as well as our faculty in terms of transitioning them away from the way that we used to do things, to the way that we want to do in the future. And that takes time. It takes time, but it really does revolve around us being able to engage those early adopters. So I'm also talking to students about the metaverse, and they're really, really excited about the possibilities. So we're facing those challenges head on, but the hope is just excitement and the positive momentum that we've established already overcomes some of the challenges that are on the horizon.
Really engaging the whole community in that kind of change management and having it sort of percolate up from the community rather than being forced down from the top. It's really a great model. And I'm curious, as you've done this or as you're planning to do this, particularly when it comes to your students, how are you measuring the effectiveness of this opportunity for them to be engaged in the metaverse? And particularly when you look at what is available today traditionally for online student engagement, which is clearly not as robust. How are you planning to measure the effectiveness of this strategy?
Well, it's very important for us to measure effectiveness. My faculty, as I share with them, we won't use technology for the sake of using technology. We use technology for the sake of improving what it is that we do in the classroom. So the overall effectiveness of any technology is extremely important. But when we look at online education, what we know, the data shows this, is that online students that are taking online courses, they tend not to do as well as students that are taking the traditional type courses. I hypothesize part of the reason why that is occurring is the level of engagement. So the level of engagement is different between a traditional type course and those that are online. We offer two types of online classes: online, what we call online anytime, where students will work through projects, the work that they need to do for the class without the instructor being physically present. They won't meet with the instructor. And we also offer classes that we call online on the schedule. And in the online on the schedule courses, students meet with the faculty twice a week, the same way that they would in a traditional class, albeit just virtually. So when we think about the technologies and measuring the effectiveness, we really have to engage or we have to determine the level of engagement. And the hope is the technology, by going in a virtual cell or to a virtual gallery, will increase the level of engagement, thereby increasing student retention and completion rates. So that's the idea that we have around measuring the effectiveness of our courses. Now, the courses that we offer in online college, we also offer those classes on campus as well. And many of our instructors teach in both models. So we'll be able to gauge from those instructors that have face-to-face classes and those that are using the new technologies to have a comparison of how students are doing within those classes. And then, of course, we have the data from previous years before this level of engagement. What's a possibility to see how things have changed. So the idea of effectiveness is critically important to our institution. very important to me as a scientist that we assess the effectiveness of any new technology that we use.
Hey there, it's Mallory, Chief Strategist of Enrollify. Higher ed is facing a leadership crisis. The demands on today's college and university leaders are skyrocketing, and talent is leaving the industry at an unprecedented rate. New leaders like you are emerging, but no one is getting the proper training to be successful. Well, Enrollify is here to change that. Our new course, Lessons in Leadership, taught by Dr. Carrie Phillips, will prepare you to be a confident, empathetic, and effective leader. From systems thinking to adaptive leadership, building culture to handling difficult decisions, this comprehensive online course is perfect for new and aspiring leaders. Don't wait. The course starts September 9th, and for a lucky group of 26 students, we have the option to add interactive sessions with Dr. Phillips for personalized guidance. Visit Enrollify.org to learn more.
And it is really interesting to think about student persistence and engagement in the classroom and their performance related to these technologies. And as I'm sure you've seen, certain disciplines do well with certain modalities. And I wanted to sort of double click on something you just mentioned about working with the faculty who are also teaching on campus. What disciplines or what areas of study are you seeing the sort of greatest enthusiasm for this type of adoption? I mean, you mentioned art and biology. Those seem really natural fits. But where else are you either seeing really great excitement or maybe some hesitancy in terms of finding the use case or really looking closely at what that would mean for student engagement across the disciplines? You offer such a wide variety of programs at the college.
Yeah, absolutely. So the modality of online, as I started off this conversation, it's here to stay. So our students are expecting our courses to be online. And there are some courses that are more challenging to put online, okay, such as organic chemistry. Okay. How do you put organic chemistry online in a real meaningful way? That's a challenge. And what these new technologies, as we think about augmented reality, virtual reality, those challenges are able to become, we can overcome those challenges. We have to think about how do we do that? And that's what I'm charging my science department. It's more of a challenge for the chemistry discipline to do that type of work. So that's an area. English department, and thinking about the new technologies with AI, how do you overcome the chat GPTs? So those conversations are happening, and they are happening in robust dialogues and conversations amongst our faculty as well as our institution to really wrap our hands around this. Those are most certainly challenges. But once again, I'm an optimist. So looking beyond this, once this is created, just opportunities that we afford our students will be extremely tremendous. But it starts with real earnest conversations at the institution about how can we infuse today's technologies in the classrooms. And what that results in is us at Houston Community College doing things differently. So the way that we've been doing this in the past, we're looking to do it differently. We're looking to challenge ourselves to be better at what we do in the light of this AI revolution.
And there's so much going on, and it's interesting to see how that's impacting the academic enterprise at many colleges and universities, shifting focus a little bit because there are tremendous applications for the kinds of technologies you're talking about for student engagement. Many online students, the first time they actually are engaged with the campus communities when they visit campus for graduation, and they may never have even set foot on the campus before. What do you see as the opportunities in terms of fostering a sense of community among your students, leveraging the kinds of technologies you're talking about?
No, that once again, engagement is priority number one. If we increase engagement in the online environment, our success rates go up. I firmly believe that. And the way to increase that engagement on the campuses comes in multifold. So one of the areas in which we're looking to increase our engagement is through very similar types of clubs that are on campus. So in the fall of 2024, we'll have an honors college. We have a student life coordinator. And so I just have many ideas about engaging these students that are online in activities in the classroom that we talked about, but also activities outside the classroom. So I'll challenge students to a Madden tournament. So play Madden against the president of HCC Online. And they're doing that from their home location, right? And I would do it from my office here at Houston Community College. So once again, being creative in the way that we engage the students. We're looking to use technology and additional types of resources that gamify the relationships that students have within the classroom. So now, can we utilize the technologies out there for students to participate in group study? Whoever takes the leadership role in that group study, now they get a gift card from Starbucks. We see that you led or initiated this group study. We want to reward you for doing such. So are there ways for us to, as I said, gamify engagement, right? So we know engagement is important. Those tools are out there. We're investigating those tools. We're seeking out those ways to engage students that way. The metaverse, going back to the metaverse, will help with that too. So when I think about students who maybe need tutoring and they don't want to go to tutoring, they're reluctant to go to tutoring, but now are they more inclined to go to tutoring when you just walk your little avatar into the tutoring facility and you go in and you see other students are here too, and you're able to engage with the tutor in a virtual way through avatars. So once again, it's just thinking about how do we engage these students. These new technologies allow for us to engage in ways in which we have not been able to do before. And that's what the excitement is. That's what the motivation is. That's what the drive is. From my perspective as president, HCC Online is driving engagement in the online environment in ways that have not been done before.
It's extremely exciting. And clearly you're an early adopter. You're looking at using technologies that are probably very unfamiliar. If folks on other campuses looking at gamification, looking at the metaverse, and looking at avatars, these are really cutting edge. So for our final question, I'd love it if you could use your presidential crystal ball and maybe share what you see as some of the future advancements coming down the pike that you're most excited about. You're already incorporating tons of new technologies into what you're doing at HCC Online. But where do you see the next phase going in terms of student engagement, enhancing the student experience?
Absolutely. So looking at my crystal ball, I envision a college, an online college, whereby students are engaged in that level of learning where it's being done to them without them even knowing, right? So we want to create that type of environment where when you walk into the metaverse and you have all your questions are able to be answered using some technology, but there's always that human aspect that's really, really important. So there will be humans behind the scenes, but there will also be chatbots. I didn't mention chatbots earlier, but we're developing chatbots right now where we have frequently asked questions whereby the chatbots are able to respond to our students. We're looking to do that via text as well as through conversation. So you could just have a conversation with our future chatbots and get responses back. Whatever language you're speaking in, we're able to translate and answer those questions back in your language. So creating this broad type of experience for not just students here at Houston Community College. We're looking to go global as well. So to increase our footprint in a way that is fun, a way that is engaging, a way that is challenging, a way that is still valued by our industry partners. So we're looking to create that type of environment. And looking at the crystal ball, we'll get there. It'll take a little time and a little effort, but we'll get there. Once again, just creating this learning space that is like no other.
And I look forward to seeing it. This is incredible, and I really appreciate the opportunity to hear about everything you're doing. Dr. Jerome Drain, president of the Online College at Houston Community College, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us.
Thank you once again, Ray. Glad to be here.
The Mastering the Next podcast is a part of the Enrollify podcast network. If you like this podcast, chances are you'll like other Enrollify shows too. Our podcast network is growing by the month, and we've got a plethora of marketing, enrollment, and higher ed technology shows that are jam-packed with stories, ideas, and frameworks all designed to empower you to be a better higher ed professional. Our shows help higher ed marketers and admissions professionals find their next big idea and feature a selection of the industry's best as your hosts. Learn from Artis Cadieux, J.C. Bonilla, Mallory Wilsey, Brendan Henkel, Brian Gross, and so many other of your favorite leaders in higher ed. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the next generation AI student engagement platform helping institutions create meaningful and personalized interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com.